All right, we're back to answer another question from a lovely young lady who's asking a question about a very common thing that people think is occurring in the dating world. She wants to know if it's true or not. And ladies, if you watch till the end of the video, I'm going to give you a tip on how to avoid a fatal mistake y'all make. But before we answer, let's hear the question.
Single men, single women. I just had therapy and my therapist said that something that a lot of her male single clients talk about is that they're having trouble dating because on first or second dates, women are asking them how much money they make. And I don't believe her. I think that's too crazy. That is a nutty thing to ask.
All right, let's start by saying that last point you make, that would be a nutty thing to ask. I couldn't agree more with you, especially on a first date when you're just trying to get to know one another and see if there's any possibility of a relationship. Someone who's asking a question like that on the first date is showing beyond any doubt that they don't really care about the person. They're going to judge them by how much money they make. And while guys have previously let it slide, they now see it for what it is, that they're only being valued as wallets. Which brings me to the second thing I wanted to mention about this first part that you've brought up. This is what your therapist is telling you is happening. This is what a therapist has told you she's hearing from her male clients. But rather than accept that, you immediately dismissed it, saying, I don't believe it. And with all due respect, why would your therapist lie to you about it? And more importantly, why would you continue to see a therapist that you think is lying to you? You should be firing them instantly, because why would you put your trust in someone that you think is lying to you? It makes no sense. But let's set that aside for a moment and see what else she has to say.
Is this actually happening? Have you asked someone how much money they make on a first or second date?
So if you notice, the first group that she wants to ask the question to is women. And I remind you, her therapist told her it was men who were saying it to her, not women. You see, she's so shocked by what her therapist said, she's going to run to her fellow women to see if they'll admit doing something so shallow as to asking a man what he makes on a first or second date. Or to put it another way, to see if the women will acknowledge and take responsibility for doing it. But as we all know, taking responsibility is to a woman what kryptonite is to Superman, which is why virtually every single response, every single comment she's gotten on that video from women has all been,
I would never do that. I've never asked a man what he makes.
Basically confirming her belief. I mean, it's not like women are going to admit to being shallow and viewing men as nothing more than a paycheck, right?
And men, are women actually asking you this? I have to know.
And here's where it gets even better. All the men commenting on that video are saying, yes, absolutely it happens. It happens all the time, because that is the experience overwhelmingly that men have. That the woman in some way wants to know what his career is, what his job is, and what his income is. Oh, they'll all universally deny that they care about it. But we all know far and away it's the number one thing they're looking for in a man. And many times, it's the only thing they're looking for in a man. They don't care about love. They don't care about the relationship. It's how much money he makes. Or as they try to put lipstick on the pig to disguise what it is that they're looking for, is he a good provider? And they even telegraph it in their dating profiles, where they'll put something along the lines of, I expect the man to have a stable job or a stable career. The truly sad part about this is, I genuinely believe she's trying to figure it out. But unfortunately, she's going to be subject to confirmation bias. She's going to make the fatal mistake that most women make, which is to try and get information about how men think and feel, not from men, but from other women. Because those hundreds, if not thousands of women telling her that they don't do it is going to override in her mind what her professional therapist told her. And oh yeah, the comments from all the men. So it's just going to cement in her mind that women don't do it, when the reality is they do it, and they do it almost every single time. It speaks to why relationships are so broken, because there is a deep divide between what women think men experience and what they actually do. And rather than listen to men, rather than even ask them, they reach out to their fellow women to tell them how men think and feel. And 99 out of 100 times, the women are dead wrong. All right, let me ask what you think. Do you think women ask men what they make on the first or second date? I'd love to hear. Put it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor. Give me that thumbs up. Give me that like. And hey, check out these other videos where I talk about other misconceptions that women have about men.